Mr. Speaker, I rise today as the voice for 350,000 Iowans who lost power during an ice storm in February to express my strong support for H.R. 1361, the Recover Act. This bill will develop a disaster plan so that the Small Business Administration can adequately assist small businesses in emergencies. Just this February, Iowa was hit with a massive ice storm, one of the worst in its history, which caused millions of dollars worth of damage throughout the state and left hundreds of thousands of people without power. Weather in Iowa, like in many parts of the country, can be unpredictable and dangerous, and this was no exception. I was personally affected by this ice storm when a 40-foot ice-coated branch struck my home in Waterloo. With the help of my neighbors and our chainsaws, I was able to cope with some minor property damage and personal inconvenience. But, Mr. Speaker, my situation paled in comparison to the constituents I met while visiting emergency storm shelters in Iowa's 1st Congressional District. These Iowans were there seeking refuge after they had been displaced from their homes and businesses as a result of the ice storm. On March 15th, the Small Business Committee held a markup of the Recover Act. I introduced an amendment that day to expand the scope of federal disaster assistance available to small businesses. Currently, the SBA has to wait for the President to make a formal disaster declaration before giving disaster loans to small businesses. There are exceptions, however, that include severe situations, including floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, fires, explosions, volcanoes, windstorms, landslides or mudslides, tidal waves, and other civil disorders. The amendment I proposed adds ice storms and blizzards to this list of exceptions. The language will benefit small business owners who are trying to get back on their feet following severe winter weather. I was pleased that the amendment received overwhelming bipartisan support and was passed by the committee unanimously. I urge my colleagues to recognize the importance of assisting small businesses in reopening following a disaster and ask them to support the Recover Act.